Well, I'm absolutely delighted that I have here one half of Gaffney Studio. We have Carol from Gaffney Studio here today to talk all about photography branding, branding your business, headshots. So much, there's so much to learn from Carol. She's a mind full of information. But first of all, Carol, you're very welcome. Thank you for agreeing to have a chat with us.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation. Really, I
Oh, we're
really
delighted. And
admire
tell me,
you and Janet.
oh, thank you.
Mhm.
Tell me about Gaffney Studio. So I know the other half of Gaffney Studio is Phil, who's your husband. So how did it all come together?
So he's passionate about photography. I'm passionate about branding. And when we were setting up our business, we were trying different issues. We were trying family photography. We were trying commercial photography. We were trying wall art. And then I was using my branding expertise behind the scenes for our own company. And then and then at some point I said, Phil, I think I don't have I need my passion. I need my expertise to go into the process with the clients. I need to do that for the clients. And that's how we decided to do brand photo shoots. And because we saw a big gap in the market that there are a lot of brand photographers, but they're not brand strategists. And I'm a brand strategist. I have a very deep knowledge in brand strategy. So bringing the two of us together and designing the photo shoot, and for him focusing on the photography, on the settings of the camera, which I have no clue how to do anything on the camera. I just know how to press the button, and he tells me press here, press there, and I do that. Same for the editing. I love watching him editing, but if you ask me to go on Photoshop and edit a photo, it's not my expertise. And he focused on his side of the business. I focus on my side of the business, and then we can come together like with our expertise to help the client. So that's how we started. We were bringing our own passions, and we mix our passions together to serve our clients.
It's amazing because, you know, both myself and Janette, obviously within our business, we both know what we're good at, what we do, and we don't knock together. But
Mhm.
your husband and wife is totally different. I go home to my own house. Jeanette goes home to her own house. Do you ever switch off?
Yeah, it's a big thing here because I am not good at switching off. I have to be honest. I'm not the best one at switching off, and he is very good. So 5 p.m. We have different offices. We tried to share the same office, and it was not working. I was chatterbox. I was trying to talk with him all the time, and he was like, I can't. So I just moved to another room. So I have my own office. He has his own office. It's very close, but anyway, and at 5 p.m., he clocks off. He says, 5 p.m., that's it. I'm going to have my dinner. I'm going to relax. And then sometimes I still work.
Yeah.
And if I try to talk about business after working hours, he tells me, he says, no, let's talk about that tomorrow. Is that okay? And
Okay.
then I
Well,
say,
that's
okay.
good. That is good. And because you do need, particularly in your relationship, you do need to have that cut off, that it's not all focused around work and what you do, you know, for
Exactly.
your, you need other interests as well.
Definitely. And our relationship comes first. So we always have to think about that. We always have to prioritize our relationship, prioritize our time together, prioritize our date nights, because otherwise, if we don't have a relationship, then we wouldn't have the business.
Absolutely, absolutely. What makes you different? So, like, as you said yourself, there's lots of other branding photographers out there. There's lots of photographers taking photographs, and people will say, "Oh, well, sure, it's just a photograph. Like a photograph is a photograph." What makes you guys different to another photographer? What brings a customer to choose you rather than another photographer?
Would be more the strategy behind the plan of the photo shoot. So as I'm a brand strategist, I go behind I go with the client and I go very deep into their brand. So we have a lot of brand clarity during the process. We work with brand archetypes, which we can talk about that also. So brand clarity, brand archetype, I go very deep. The planning process takes between 4 to 6 weeks to design a very bespoke brand photo shoot.
Wow.
If you call me and say, Carol, I need a photo shoot next week, we cannot do that because it's gonna be generic. It's gonna be one size fits all, and it's not us. We really, quality is one of our core values, personal core values, and we brought that core value into the company because we share this core value. And for us to deliver a very good and bespoke photo shoot, we need to have that understanding about the brand and understanding about the brand personality and about the person's personality as well, their style and so on, to make sure the photos are going to be very unique and very different. Sometimes when you see other photographers' portfolio, it looks like all the clients they work for the same company. And when you go to our portfolio, you can see that every client looks like it's completely different because we take time and design the photo shoot based on their brand and their personality.
Right. So, in other words, it's not the photographer's style, it's actually the customer's style is
Yes,
really. And so, and I know
definitely.
I've met you many times and we network in the same type of groups, but I only heard you speak for the first time earlier on this year. And I had heard you talk about archetypes, and I never knew what that actually meant. So when I heard you talk about it, that's what really got me. It's like, oh my God, I need to get her onto our YouTube channel. I need for other people to hear this word and hear the explanation of this word, because it just makes sense. It just makes so much sense. So tell everybody else here as well, archetypes. What is an archetype? What does it mean? Like, it's a new word for us.
Yeah, so archetypes are nothing more than personality. So that was a concept designed by Carl Jung. And then in 2004, an author called Carol Person, she got that theory from Carl Jung, and then she brought that into marketing, into branding. So if you look at the bigger companies, the bigger and the very successful companies, they are very, very consistent with their archetype. So a good example is Nike. Nike has the hero archetype. So before I go into the examples, there are 12 archetypes. So there are the lover, the explorer, the jester, the magician. Anyway, so 12 in total. And for example, Nike has the hero archetype. So when you think of the brand, when you think of their tagline, they just do it. It's like a hero. Just do it. Overcome your obstacles. Just do it. Just achieve your goals. So that's the hero archetype. When they go, when they were thinking of having someone an ambassador for their brand, they invested millions to get Michael Jordan to work for them because they knew his personality. He was a hero personality. If you watch the documentary, you're gonna see he's completely hero personality. So Nike is one a good example. Disney using the magician archetype. When you walk into those gates, it's like you are walking into a dreamland. You are just forgetting about your problems. And everything can happen in Disney. So it's also another good example of a brand that is very good and very true to their archetype. And also Harley Davidson, they use the red archetype, the black leather jacket, the tattoos. So they're very consistent with the brand archetypes that they use. And that helps the clients that want to buy from them to connect with them in that subconscious level, because we don't understand why we want to buy from a company. We normally buy from by identification because we are similar, or by aspiration because we want to achieve that. And brand archetypes does that in a subconscious level.
Wow, that's amazing. It's just, so how do you find out what archetype you are? So, like, is there a questionnaire, or obviously just is this part of the process of your 4 weeks up to your branding? How does somebody find out what archetype so that they know what direction to go?
Yeah, it needs to work with a brand strategist to find out your archetype. I did lots of different online tests and they all come different results. So it's not very, you cannot rely on those quick tests. You need to work with a brand strategist to find out your brand archetype. So when the clients work with us, we are part of the process is to identify which is their main brand archetype. Why we say identify? Because we cannot choose a brand archetype. You cannot
Okay.
choose an archetype because it's not sustainable to pretend someone you are not. It's more a process of identification, who you are in your core, how was your childhood, how do you behave, what you love, and we go through that process to identify the correct brand archetype.
Wow. So it's quite a deep process then for to. And so what
Yes,
happens? So what I'm saying then, so we say in our industry, so florists, there could be five flower shops and they could have five completely different archetypes. So their advertising campaigns or their branding would be completely different and
completely
they
different.
attract different type of customers then. Is that,
Hmm.
am I right?
Yeah, because people buy from people. People
Yes.
buy from you and from Janette because they love your personality, and people buy from us because they love our personality, and so on. So brand archetype is gonna make you stand out. It's gonna make you be different than your competitor. People are gonna buy because, for example, let's think about a florist. A florist that has a caregiver archetype, for example, they might have some symbols, elements, signs, like visual codes that they can send to the subconscious mind of their audience, of their ideal client, that they are the caregiver archetype. So that can be like showing the hands, showing them, I don't know, in a kitchen setting or by the fire, things like
Okay.
that. So the color scheme have also plays a big part. The font they use on their website and on their social media. So everything, those visual codes, they are very, very, very important to understand, and you need to be very strategic when you do that as well, because
Okay.
those visual codes, they are sending signals of which archetype you are, which personality you are, and the client, instead of buying from another florist that has, for example, the love archetype, then they're gonna buy from your archetype because, for example, this person that we are imagining, they have the caregiver archetype and they prefer that is in a subconscious mind. They prefer that personality. You know,
Wow.
when they walk into the shop, they would get that caregiver personality, like coming and helping and caring about them and so on. So that's how you
Wow.
differentiate. And any archetype can sell at any niche. And
Okay.
I always say that it's really important to understand, because some people they say which is the best archetype to sell in my niche. Doesn't matter. Any archetype can sell at any niche. The most important thing is to be true to yourself, to be authentic.
Yes.
Otherwise, it's not sustainable to pretend to be someone you are not.
Okay. So, excuse me. So really, if somebody is going into business in the flower industry, this is something that probably needs to be done fairly early in their journey. If this branding and message has to go across their social media, their website, their colors, it is sort of something then that's early on in business that you would be doing it. Yes.
I would highly recommend to do early. I love when the clients come to us and they say, "You are the first investment that I'm making,"
Okay.
because I want to start with the right foot. And when the clients come and work with us, they have the bank of photos, and we also do a follow-up call, which is going to help most of our clients. They get the follow-up call, which is going to help them to leverage their photos and leverage their archetype, not only on their photos, but in other areas of their marketing, how to send those signals and their brand archetype signals in other areas of their marketing. So when they start the business, thinking about the brand and having brand clarity, having this brand archetype defined, it's much easier to pick their color scheme, to pick their fonts, to pick the image they're gonna use, and the photos they're gonna use to attract the right clients. So there is a
Okay.
consistency in that.
And tell me then if so I have a flower shop and you have branded, done our branding, you've done all that, you've done all the photographs, and I'm taking on staff. So do the staff have to blend into my archetype or how does that work?
Yes, because they're gonna be working for your company. We always say that the company has to have the main archetypes of the owners,
Okay.
because you are the heart of the company, or the heart and the soul of the company. But everybody who is going to work for you, they have to be trained to work with your brand personality, your brand. For example, I was having an afternoon tea in the Westbury a few weeks ago, and at the end we were talking with a staff, and we were talking about training and everything, and she was saying she was just telling us about the training, that everything's about the luxurious brands. They have the ruler archetype very strong, It's very luxury. The customer experience is very, very, very good. It's like a 5-star all the way. And she was saying that as soon as they are hired, they focus on the brand personality, on the aspects of the brand, the way they treat their clients, because customer service is branding. Every
Yes.
touch point, brand comes in. And she said most of the staff, they come with the skills done. They know how to serve a table, they know how to cook, they know all these, but the branding side, that's where the focus comes, because they need to wear the, how do they say, to wear the shirt of the brand,
Yeah, that's
the company,
fascinating.
you
That's
know.
absolutely fascinating. I never actually thought about it from that angle, where you're trying to get people to do the things the way you want them done. This is how you answer the phone. This is how you greet somebody. This is our procedure.
Yes,
But I
even the
think when you,
words.
yeah, like it's amazing, Carol. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So tell me, what is a typical? So we say I want to book in. I book you for 6 weeks in advance. So what's the procedure? How does it actually work? And then when it comes to the photographs, like what is typical of an afternoon or a day, or how does it work?
So once the client books us, we have an onboarding call. So the onboarding call, I'm going to present to them. It's maybe 45 minutes call. I'm going to present to them how it's going to work, the activities that they need to give back to us, and we have to book um, a strategic pre-shoot call as well. So these onboard calls, we're going to explain the basics of how it's going to work.
Yeah.
And then after the onboarding call, they're going to receive 3 activities. They're going to receive the brand clarity quiz, which that quiz we were talking about. They're going to receive the brand clarity workbook that's going to give a lot of clarity about their brand. We're going to dive into ideal client, brand personality, your values, lots of different things. And then they're going to have the mood board activity. This mood board activity is really important because they're going to put in a mood board what they expect for the photo shoot. And then with those 3 activities, myself and Phil, we sit down, we go through these 3 activities, the answers from the client. We design the photo shoot, we prepare a presentation, a slide presentation, and then we have the 1.5 hour call with the client. This 1.5 hour call with the client, we are going to explain everything that we planned, strategically planned for their photo shoot. They're going to say, I love this, I'm not comfortable with that, and so on. We're going to tweak a few things, change a few things, and then you're going to prepare them for the photo shoot. In the meantime, they have reminders, weekly reminders, daily reminders about what to do. They have a checklist, they have all the support. And then we are going to pick the location. We are going to help them to pick their outfits, respecting their own style, respecting their own personality. Then we have the photo shoot. The photo shoot normally, it's of course, it's during the day, but normally in the middle of the day, it's great because the sun is not, we don't have direct light. So the sun is not direct through the
Yeah.
windows. And we normally go to a place where it's very, like plenty of windows, lots of natural light. If it's not, we still bring artificial light, but Phil loves natural light. And I'm gonna be there directing, posing, changing the props, and he will be there, focus on the camera, focus on the settings, because if the light change, he has to change the settings and everything. So we do that
Okay.
dance in between us. After that, with the client, after a few days, the client receive a gallery of photos for them to select their favorite photos. Once they select their favorite photos, then we are gonna Phil's gonna add the photos, and then they're gonna receive the final gallery.
Wow. So like it's a big process. It's not
It,
just book a
it
photographer, take some photographs, and
no,
Bob's your uncle. Like
it's a big
it's
project.
yeah, absolutely. I'm bringing it back to a flower shop, and I know you did talk about commercial branding. So we say I have a flower shop and I want to get this, but I also have staff in the flower shop, or maybe family who work with it or whatever. Can they also come part of it as well? Can you organize to do photographs with them? Obviously not their archetype. They have to suit into the shop's archetype
Yeah.
or the shop's branding. Is that something you offer as well?
Definitely, because they are part of your brand. Like if, for example, some clients, especially the caregiver archetypes, they naturally ask for their kids to be in the photo shoot, and it's a caregiver
Yeah.
element bringing the kids. So regardless, like regardless of the archetype, if those people, your employees and your family are part of your brand, they definitely, we really advise them to be there for the photo shoot. Of course, we're going to have some photos of product photos, lifestyle photos, your headshots and so on, but also bringing your family, interacting with them. Depending on the archetype, you're going to direct that in a different way. And because again, people buy from people when they
Yes.
see that. That's a huge element of your brand if you have your family working with you, and that's gonna be, people feel are gonna feel connected to you. They won't understand, they won't know, but in a subconscious mind they're gonna be really connected, they're gonna feel really connected with you once they see their photos, those photos. So definitely.
Amazing. So if a business is already running and they're in business 2 or 3 years, is it too late to do something like this?
It's never too late, it's never too late to do something like that, because there are two options, right? When people come to us in a later stage, first option would be that they are being very authentic to their personality, to their brand personality, without understanding, without knowing what brand archetype is, but they are very consistent. For example, when Disney started, there was nobody was talking about brand archetype. They knew about archetype from Carl Jung. Maybe the marketing department knew something about archetype, but there was nothing like brand archetype. And they were very consistent with their messaging. Same for established business. If they are very authentic, they might be doing a very good job, a very consistent job in relation to the elements that they are bringing, like the visual codes that they are bringing. So that's the scenario of the person that is doing everything right. And another scenario is that someone is doing something completely different. For example, we had a client recently. The result of her brand archetype came as ruler and explorer. Ruler is all about luxury, it's all about old money um, style, it's about also explorer, it's about exploring places. Can be exploring places like a um, a, cosmopolitan explorer or a nature explorer, or can be um, someone that explores ideas, and we can
Okay.
identify that, the subtype, and we can design that. And her brand was all like the colors were very pink, um, were very soft colors, were not designed for the ruler and the explorer. So she's rethinking about that as well. So it's good
Okay.
to have to give a direction as well, because that's
Yes.
going to give clarity to them.
Yeah, because I suppose probably like a lot of businesses, people go with initially when they start out a brand color that they like that color, and that's why that brand, where sort of obviously pink is what we, you know, move into. Maybe it's not the right one. I don't know, but I think when businesses start out, they have this idea of what way they want to do. Um, so it is, and I suppose I also say for businesses that are already up and running, rebranding is a great opportunity to PR, relaunch, gives you it just gives you something new to offer out there, doesn't it?
Totally. We are always rebranding. We are rebranding at the moment. So we are always rebranding because we change, people change,
Mm,
we change, our brands they change. So it's really important to rebrand and to be more to fine tune into who you are becoming and who you are. And
yeah,
we always encourage our clients to convey their most successful self image for the photo shoot, not someone that they are inventing, but someone who is inside them, ready to be released, ready to succeed. So that's something important as well. When you are rebranding, focusing on your most successful self-image, you are doing already an amazing job. And yeah, in rebranding, like we focus a lot. We do lots of photo shoots that the client they want to reposition themselves.
yeah,
They want to rebrand, and that's really important.
amazing. And tell me, so particularly again, I know I'm keep coming back to florists, but obviously that's our business. one of the problems I suppose with florists is getting really good images for their websites of bouquets or of flowers or of designs, arrangements, or something like that. Is that a service that you offer as well? Would you do what's product shots, I suppose, is what I'm asking.
Yeah, we do product shots. We do lifestyle photos with the products, which we really recommend. Not only the flat
Okay.
lay, we can do some flat lay, but what's going to attract your clients is like lifestyle photos of people and of you handling the bouquet,
Do you know, I
you know.
totally agree, because some, and particularly some of the big flower websites, like the big oh, what did they call them? Chain sort of a florist or whatever, and they all use the same website, and they would have a bouquet up, but they just have the bouquet, but it's very hard to visualize the size of that bouquet. But we would always encourage our students or our trainees to hold a bouquet in their hand so people can visualize, yeah, I can see why that bouquet is €70. Look at the size of it in their hand in comparison to holding a small bouquet. And again,
Yes.
they can visualize it. So we say somebody, they have a flower shop and they decide they want to book your services and they want to maybe rebrand and go through the whole process. Would you advise then, okay, this is the colors, so that they could maybe buy in the colors of the flowers to match the branding for the shoot that's going to happen in the flower shop? Maybe, I don't know, is that
Yes.
sort of
Yes.
something?
Yes. We for the photo shoot, we strategically designed everything. So we give guidance in relation to the outfits, in relation to the color scheme, in relation to the location, what's gonna be the best to convey their own personality, first of all, to convey their own archetype, their own brand, their own personality, but also to attract their target audience, their ideal clients. So we give all these directions, we give all these guidelines, so the client does not need to worry about anything, because of course they need to be part of the process, because it's a lot of
Yeah.
back and forth. We need to know them, we need to know their brand, we need to know their personality for us to design the photo shoot. But all this guidance we're gonna give to them.
And tell me, the Leo offer a trading online voucher that you can actually get twice within your business. You can get it towards your website, your design, and you can actually get it. I think you can use it towards photographs. Can people use the trading online voucher for your services?
Yes, definitely. They just need to book a discovery call. We can have a call, and then they can mention that they're applying for the Tradeline voucher, and then we have a quote that we have that ready anyway. So we just
Ready to go. Yeah, yeah.
change and then give to them for them to make the application.
Do you know, Carol, it's been fascinating. And I know I was fascinated by your talk when we talked in Wexford at the Samantha Kelly's event. And I'm still fascinated, and I could speak to you for hours. But like, there's just so much. I suppose it's like every business. Nobody really knows the full thing, what goes on behind the scenes. You just see amazing photographs. And I know, like, your Instagram is like, we would be posting photographs of clients' work that you have done, and you're saying, oh my God, like, it's just amazing what you have produced, but you're not realizing everything that has went on behind the scenes. In the description, I'm going to put in your email address and your website. So if somebody wants to get in contact, do they email, or how do they get in contact with you? Can they do it through your website? What's the best way for people to contact you?
Yeah, they can book a discovery call. The link is all over the website for the discovery
Yeah.
call. They can send an email as well, and they have my phone number as well there, our phone number. So the way they prefer, they can get in touch.
Yeah. Super. Do you know what, Carol? It's been amazing. My biggest disappointment was that Phil didn't come on as well.
I know. He's
Phil
camera
is,
shy.
he's
He
camera
loves to
shy.
be
He's
he
behind the
loves to be
camera
behind
all
the
the time.
camera. Yeah.
Yeah. And do you know what? He's such a lovely guy.
He is, yeah.
Like, we have met him on numerous occasions, and we have met him at a lot of women's events, and he's just so comfortable and so lovely to chat to and lovely to deal with. We didn't get to see him this time, but if anybody is thinking of booking Carolyn and Phil, Phil is just amazing as well. Carol, I've really, really enjoyed this chat with you. I've learned so much.
Thank you.
And I really think it has given people a lot of food for thought, that it's not just a photograph. There's so much more to it.
That's so much more. And then it needs to be. Otherwise, it's gonna be generic photos and it's not gonna help your business. It's gonna
Yeah.
confuse customers, and confused customers don't buy.
You said it, confused customers do not buy. On that note, Carol, thank you so much for joining
Thank
us.
you.
And I look forward to chatting again and networking again soon.
Yes, thank you. Bye.